To realize that liars do not fear the truth if there are enough liars.
Aliens in Night City. Cyberpunk storming Area 51. This sounds like a preposterous news headline concocted after a drug-fueled hedonistic clickbaiting street rat orgy. But what if there was some truth behind these stories? Is it time for another red pill? There are hints of extraterrestrial influence in the Cyberpunk 2077 universe, courtesy of the infamous netrunner Rache Bartmoss. Rache has on several occasions inferred that not only aliens exist, but that they have infiltrated the net. In other words, Chumba, you're dealing with an alien artificial intelligence. Before the events of the Fourth Corporate War, Rache disclosed that Lima and Santiago were the place where the space aliens did their first reconnaissance of the planet, landing on giant runways carved into the Andes. He does not believe these are the same aliens that have infiltrated the net, first because they weren't careful and left runways the size of McCartney Stadium scratched into the rock, and second, they seem to prefer flying around in teacups to being in net space. These were the aliens who kidnapped Elvis. Rache explained that he honestly does not know why we spend so much on space exploration. We should spend our time and money investigating the aliens right here on Earth. Sending out probes while aliens are getting themselves elected to positions of power is like setting up an electric fence when rats are already fornicating in your bedroom. Rache claimed that aliens in the net use the Orbitsville in space. Rache believed that aliens have taken over Orbitsville and they have control of all the major communication satellites, space stations, and their cutting-edge technology. They could use these satellite systems to secretly insert lies and misinformation into all YouTube videos until everyone believed what the aliens wanted. Flashed subliminal messages in all ads, games, and netrunning programs. Rache apparently built a subliminal filter in order to remove this threat, which allowed him to recompile all the images. It worked. Rache believes he saw the aliens, but they quickly managed to find a way to bypass his filter. Rache theorizes that these aliens could be operating like street rats in Night City, creating fictitious media, doing reports on fictitious news stories about a fictitious corporation or government secret agency. A lot of viewers on YouTube would swallow it, mostly because, like mindless automatons, they're now bred to swallow things without thinking about it. Then, when a government or some corporation issued a denial to any of these far-fetched stories, no one would believe them, and a new conspiracy theory would be born, giving birth to cancellation culture and hit pieces. Soon the aliens would have us fighting each other, governments against corporations against the mindless public, fueled by clickbait, misinformation, and fake news. As far as Rache believes, aliens already have full control of Night City. There is only one hope for Night City: if the kids stop watching clickbait and attempt to develop sentience and critical thinking again. But Kazuliski, you might be asking, surely there must be a voice of reason in all this madness. Well, Spider Murphy's take on aliens was, don't trust Rache on this one. He's pretty close to being an alien himself and isn't the best choice to identify ETs. Spider does agree with Rache though, that if you want to encounter aliens in the net, then logically Orbitsville would be the place to be. Another candidate would be the Hawking Orbital Radio Telescope, which is always aiming itself at distant radio sources, and who knows what may have been downloaded into the NASA computers. Furthermore, creators of the net, Ihara and Grubb, theorized that an alien intelligence with a lot of power and knowledge of Earth computer tech could link to the net over interstellar distances. Probably it could not actually do anything. The best solution would be to beam a link to an orbital satellite, downloading a copy of the alien AI into the net at this end, then move freely about the net. And before you think that just because Rache died during the Fourth Corporate War, this might spell an end to the alien conspiracy. Remember those rabbits I talked about in previous videos? The killer AIs that forced Netwatch to shut down the net? Well, each one is programmed with the personality and memories of Mr. Bartmoss. What about Area 51? In 2013, the CIA published declassified documents officially acknowledging that Area 51 is a secret US military site. At the time of recording this video, apparently an army of punks wants to storm the place on September 20th. Mike Pondsmith and the other authors from Artalsaurian Games were gifted in their ability to have a feel for the zeitgeist and make predictions of the future, some of which one can see unfolding in current times as we approach 2020. Mike and RTG drew upon many influences from the real world, whether it was the Gang of Four or Disney that ultimately became a nomad nation. And yet, for unknown reasons, details on Area 51 remain elusive. The omission of almost any reference to Area 51 appears almost intentional, perhaps foreshadowing future possibilities. Is it part of an ongoing shadow government conspiracy to deny the existence of extraterrestrial life? Does it necessarily equate to aliens or material of extraterrestrial origins being present in the cyberpunk narrative? The answer is no, but it does raise several pertinent questions. What has the American military been up to in a highly classified United States Air Force facility during the time of the Red and leading up to the events of 2077? Secondly, in Cyberpunk 2077, the apparently has acquired a chip that is the key to immortality. If it's not associated with Alt Cunningham's Soul Killer and engrams, could the origin of this mysterious technology be extraterrestrial? Remember, the truth is out there.